it's Susan here from Kamoi no Hime Cosplay, and today we're going to be talking about location cosplay photo shoots. Up until about the past year or so, I pretty much was only doing cosplay photo shoots at conventions, and that does make it a bit more difficult because I was only going to a handful of conventions per year and then hiring a photographer at the con. And especially for me now, when I'm only going to maybe 1 or 2 cons a year, that's just not practical, especially with the large number of costumes I make, because I run a channel about making costumes and I like having photos of them to show all the hard work that I put into them. So convention only photo shoots really wasn't working for me anymore, so needed to come up with a way to do location photo shoots. And I think there tends to be this idea when you talk about location photo shoots, it's like, oh, we're going on this big fancy trip to Hawaii and taking really glamorous pictures in front of the waves, and you don't have to go on like some super awesome trip, which if you do, that's cool, but that's not really practical, and that's not the way location photo shoots have to be. To be quite honest, most of the photo shoots that I do now are just me and my husband behind the camera. A lot of times recently we've been using the DSLR, which is what I'm filming on now, but before that we're just taking photos on a smartphone with the little camera that is included with it, and still got some really nice shots. The locations themselves have just been using what is around where I live. So what I like to do is just to go on a walk and look at things, see like, oh, that's an interesting wall, oh, that's a cool tree, some cool flowers, and then keep that in mind for if I have a costume that setting would be appropriate for. You don't have to find a huge thing. The only location needs to be to fill up the frame of the picture. So for example, when I did photos from Danganronpa for Maki in a parking garage and just using a little corner so you couldn't see the cars there, but it still had this really cool kind of creepy looking concrete backdrop, and that was enough to get the shot so it looked like I was in a creepy Danganronpa setting. So obviously you don't want to trespass while you're doing your location photo shoots. You want to respect people's property. Don't be like taking photos in front of people's houses and making it creepy. So for that reason, I like to do photo shoots at public parks, or like I mentioned before, parking garages. Though with doing photo shoots in public places, there tends to be people about, and since I'm pretty private and don't like having people stare at me while I take photos, I try and do those photo shoots either early in the morning or later in the evening when there aren't as many people around, and also at times when people are less likely to be out. For example, when I did the photo shoot for Maid Futaba from Persona 5, we actually did that photo shoot on Thanksgiving during Thanksgiving dinner time. So even though I was a bright red maid wandering around our apartment complex, nobody saw me because they were all either traveling, visiting family, otherwise occupied with everything else that was going on with that day, so had a lot of privacy while doing that. And obviously also, if you are doing photo shoots in public parks, you want to make sure that you're not disrupting the park itself, so kind of like the whole thing with camping, leave it looking better than when you arrived. Don't leave bits of your costume or like crush plants and stuff while you're doing it. Please be courteous to what is around you. And if you are taking pictures in a local park, or especially in your apartment complex in front of your house, be very careful about what you are showing in the photo. The internet, while cool, we can share our cosplays with other people, internet can also be a scary place, so you don't want to accidentally give out your address or anything that is really telling of where you live. So just pay attention, make sure there aren't any like street signs or house numbers in the background. You can either Photoshop them out or If you have a big costume or a prop, you can position that in front of the street sign so that you don't have to worry about photoshopping it out. Just be safe and keep that in mind. But I hope you found these tips helpful if you are looking to do some of your own location shoots. If you have any other suggestions, let me know in the description box below. And for more cosplay tutorial related videos, please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Bye!